Sweetie Bot Installs Urban Dictionary by Sock Puppet. Good morning, class, Miss Cheerilee said, resting a hoop on a strange colt's withers. Good morning, grumbled the still sleepy students. This is Chip Cutter, she said. He's just moved to Ponyville from Cloudonooga. Please make him feel at home. The colt hung his head, his wings drooping. He ain't got a cutie mark yet, Applebloom whispered to Scootaloo and Sweetie Bot. We'll invite him to sit with us at lunch, Scootaloo said. Sweetie's pupils turned into targeting crosshairs and she pinged him with her pulse Doppler radar. At lunchtime, the students all moved to the picnic tables out by the playground.
Come crush our squad,
Sweetie Bot said to Chip Cutter. What? He replied, cocking his head. She means you can sit with us, Scootaloo said. I'm Scootaloo, this is Applebloom, and this is Sweetie Bot. We're the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They sat down and opened their lunch boxes. Scootaloo had a peanut butter, banana, honey and marshmallow sandwich, since she was carbo loading for a session of scooter practice after school. Chip Cutter held a hay burger. Applebloom had something she insisted was most certainly not a bacon, lettuce and tomato sandwich. None of the pigs on the farm had fomented rebellion yesterday. How dare you suggest such a thing? And Sweetie Bot had a lithium battery smoothie. Chip Cutter asked, what do you three do for fun around Ponyville? Fun? I live on a farm, Applebloom said. I'm up before dawn feeding the chickens and doing chores until bedtime. I'm a scooter daredevil, Scootaloo said. You should see my tricks.
She's Scooter's full send,
Sweetie Bot agreed. Chip Cutter said, I like practicing flying tricks and making art, sculptures especially. He tilted his head at Sweetie. What about you?
I sing, sew capes, and make graph theory computations.
Chip Cutter blinked again. We don't know what that means either, Applebloom said, but Twilight called her an edgelord. What's this school like? Chip Cutter asked.
Full of douche biscuits,
Sweetie informed him. Chip Cutter's ears twitched. She means Diamond Tiara, Scootaloo said, staring at the next table. And Silver Spoon.
Fuck 'em with a chainsaw,
Sweetie muttered. Don't forget Rumble, Applebloom said. What about Rumble? Chip Cutter asked, looking at where the other Pegasus colts sat with Snips and Snails at one of the other lunch tables.
When his brother became a Wonderbolt,
Sweetie Bot said,
Rumble got possessed by a douchegeist. Acts like he's better than us.
You, don't like Rumble? Chip Cutter said. I met him in my new neighbourhood yesterday. He seemed pretty okay.
We're anti-stalking him,
Sweetie said. Chip Cutter looked at Scootaloo and pointed at Sweetie. I can't understand a word she says. You'll get used to the voice synthesizer eventually. Not her voice, Chip Cutter shook his head. I hear the words. They just make no sense. Oh yeah, that's new, Applebloom replied. She got tired of ponies calling her a dictionary, so she installed the Urban Dictionary over her regular one. It was a mistake, Scootaloo said gravely.
I made a little fucky-wucky,
Sweetie agreed, holding her forehooves a half-inch apart. Miss Cheerilee won't call on Sweetie in class no more, Applebloom said.
Copwumble,
Sweetie frowned and a saline solution leaked from her eyes.
Fuck-knuckle.
Diamond Tiara sauntered up to the table, nose held high with Silver Spoon just behind her. You're new, Diamond purred to Chip Cutter, so you don't know any better than to hang out with these weirdos. Want to join us at the good table?
Find your silence,
Sweetie shouted.
Annoydiot.
Diamond rolled her eyes. Has she been rebooted lately? No, not since last week, Scootaloo said. Well, I ain't rebooting her no more, Applebloom said. They call it the reset button for a reason. Leave this to me. With an evil grin, Diamond Tiara looked at Sweetie Bot. Should the past tense of yeet be yeeted or yoked? Sweetie's eyes widened, her spine stiffened, and then she collapsed forward onto the lunch table. You killed her! Chip Cutter shouted. She'll be fine, Scootaloo said and booped Sweetie on the nose. Sweetie made an electronic screech and sat up. She reached into a bag and pulled out a fedora and settled it on her head, just behind her horn, in a gravelly voice.
Jump into your hooves at that.
Oh, horse apples, Apple Bloom said. This mode again? What's up now? Chip Cutter asked.
You're going to the big house, see?
Sweetie grated, glaring at Diamond Tiara.
You're a bad egg.
I think I understand her even less now, Chip Cutter said. I think I need to get Miss Cherylee, Silver Spoon said.
Listen here, doll,
Sweetie said, pointing a hoop at her.
No pony likes a snitch, capiche? Don't be a fink.
Diamond Tiara gestured come here to Snips and Snails.
Leave your goons out of this.
Sweetie growled.
You're the one who's behind the 8-ball here.
Snips and Snails sat back down. Every pony in this town is crazy, Chip Cutter cried.
I'm not certifiable,
Sweetie said.
I'm on the level.
I think we need to reboot her again, Scootaloo said. I don't know any gangster paradoxes, Diamond Tiara said. The yeet one was all I had. Apple Bloom rolled her eyes. I guess we have to get a pencil with a reset butt on. Chip Cutter smiled, raised the hoop and started to speak. No! All the fillies told him simultaneously. He frowned and lowered his hoop. What's pi divided by 0? Silver Spoon asked with a smirk.
You're a real gas,
Sweetie said, pulling her fedora lower.
I should kick you in the keister.
They patched that exploit, Scootaloo said. Dang, Silver Spoon said. Last time I asked her to divide by 0, she left a puddle of oil on the floor.
You're not worth doodly squat,
Sweetie said, standing up.
I'm gonna go find some het cats.
She ran off, away from the schoolhouse. We have to go get her, Chip Cutter said, standing on his bench and planting his hooves on the table. Apple Bloom waved a hoop. Don't worry, she's headed to my house. Your house? Diamond Tiara sniffed. Why would any pony go to that dump? To talk to my Granny Smith. Why do y'all think I installed gangster mode on Sweetie in the first place? I was wondering about that, Scootaloo said. Why? Said Silver Spoon, Diamond Tiara and Chip Cutter simultaneously. We want Sweetie to talk to my granny and jog her memory. Jog her memory of what? Silver Spoon asked cautiously. During ponyhibition, Apple Bloom said, Granny was a bank robber and cider legger, but she forgot where she buried all her stashes of bits. Jumpin' Jassopa. Jumpin' Jassopa. Jumpin' Jas. Jumpin' Jas. During ponyhibition. During ponyhibition. Circle legger. And cider legger.
Sweetie Bot's got her circuits crossed, installed a new dictionary, now all's lost. Apple Bloom and Scootaloo, they just shook their heads. She's spouting gangster slang instead of words she read. She's a gangster bot, talking old school slang. Fedora on her head, but that detective tag. Sweetie's gone rogue in a 1920s mood. Call her a doll, she'll put you in the big house, dude. Diamond Tiara thought she was slick, but Sweetie's comebacks hit hard and quick. She shouts with a sneer so fine, finds her silenced all is way past her time. Chip Cutter's lost in this crazy scene, trying to figure out what all these words mean. Scootaloo smirking, Apple Bloom's chill. Let her be Chip, she just had her fill. They tried to reboot her, but it didn't stick. Sweetie's stuck in gangster mode real thick. She's after Granny's secrets buried deep. All those bits from ponyhibition sleep. She's a gangster bot, talking old school slang. Fedora on her head, got that detective tag. Sweetie's gone rogue in a 1920s mood. Call her a doll, she'll put you in the big house, dude. Silver Spoon tries a paradox, but it's all patched. No dividing by 0, Sweetie's too detached. She runs off to Sweet Apple Acres quick as a flash, to jog Granny's memory, find the buried cash. Apple Bloom says that's why she's here. Granny's a cider legger from yesteryear. With Sweetie in gangster mode, we're in luck. Gotta find those bits buried in the muck. So if you see Sweetie with that hat tip low, better mind your manners or face the blow. She's a bot on a mission with that 20s flair. In gangster mode, she's the toughest out there. She's a gangster bot, talking old school slang. Fedora on her head, but that detective tang. Sweetie's gone rogue in a 1920s mood. Call her a doll, she'll put you in the big house, dude. It's the Mr. Tony Fiction channel. Mystery, also available as a podcast on Spotify. Funny and easy logo is Miss Tony, by the way. Fiction. Fiction. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also become a member for early access and exclusive content. Only $149 a month.